We can learn from psychology that processes of change are not necessarily a conflict between black and white, resulting in different shades of gray. They are deeper, creative processes of a non-violent and non-conflictual manner that can lead to many, many colors and many potentials in our lives. Let's take a look. Hi. Today I'd like to talk about processes of change in our psyche. There are many processes of change. Some are very gradual and accumulative, and some are more sudden and surprising, very short-termed. Now, I believe there is a misconception regarding the way we think of our psychological change. We are led to believe that our psyche is working like Hegel's dialectics, a thesis, an antithesis, and a synthesis. There is one idea on this side, a thesis, and a contradictory idea on the other side, an antithesis, and they are in a conflict between them, in a kind of a power struggle. Now, we are led to believe that our psychological conflict works this way, as if we are pulling the rope from two sides. What happens in dialectics is that these two contradictory thesis and antithesis are building a synthesis. A new idea is created based on these two models. This led to many theories in Marxism, of course, and in philosophy, and the same is thought regarding science with Thomas Kuhn's scientific revolutions. We have a thesis, a ruling paradigm, and we have knowledge gathering slowly in an alternative, an antithesis, and at some point in time the tables are turning and the new idea is taking the whole ground. There is a new king of a paradigm. So these are changes that are accumulating gradually and then at some point are happening very fast. What I am proposing today is that the most important process of psychological change for us as individuals and as a collective does not lie in this conflict, in this war, in this friction between us and the world, between different theses or paradigms within us, between our inner wishes and the reality principle. I believe that the most important process lies in a creative, in a novel, and in a non-violent area. We are led to believe that in our psychology, like in our sociology, decisions are being taken by a conflict like a democratic vote, where 51% are winning over 49%, or 52 versus 48. But if we look at the 20th century, some of the most important processes happened in a non-violent movement or resistance, like Mohandas Mahatma Gandhi in India, and like the great Reverend Martin Luther King in the United States. These processes are based on creativity and on humility and humbleness and compassion. They are like a third way, a new way. This is not a synthesis between two rival theses. This is a completely novel way of thinking. I see the same processes in psychotherapy. As a psychotherapist, some of the most important processes of change are happening in a non-conflictual, non-violent, very creative and novel manner. not all processes in our psyche comes from conflict or friction. Not everything comes from remembering repressed material or linking emotions to past occurrences. These are all very important processes, but some of the most important ones are completely new creations, where our psychology is meeting a new psychological niche, new potentials, as I said in past conversations, new ideas that are ripe for the picking, thoughts looking for a thinker, new potentialities being actualized by us. The pieces of the puzzle suddenly are assembled in a new way, and we see reality differently. The potentials to ourselves and to our fellow humans suddenly are different for us, like illumination or a revelation or a new understanding. This is not happening in a relation to some past conflict or occurrences. This is happening as a creation in the present of our lives, maybe in the therapeutic process and maybe in the greater context of our lives. The same is true to our social, collective reality. That's why I used in the beginning the word misconception. I think we are led to believe that this conflict between right and left, between socialism and capitalism, between the alt-right and the neo-Marxism, we are led to believe that this will last forever, that this is human nature. It is written that this is the end of history. I believe this is not the case. We have a potential to invent and to create new ways, novel ways for our social order and for many, many ways to organize ourselves, to take decisions and to act in non-violent and non-conflictual manners, not in relation to this very weird situation that we are living today, and we are led to believe that this is our nature. So the purpose of my conversation today was to give you those examples from our inner psychological processes and the way they can be actualized also in our collective reality. So I'll continue to look into these areas in future conversations, and we'll end here today. Thank you very much for watching. Please make sure to press like, subscribe, comment. Let's turn this into a non-violent, non-conflictual, very creative dialogue. See you next time.